Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we slice through the noise of information to bring you the most important insights from your sources.
That's right.
Think of us as your guides, helping you get truly well-informed, fast.
Mm-hmm.
Today, we're diving deep into a stack of sources: Wikipedia, Banglepedia, YouTube transcripts, travel reviews, all focused on one incredibly dynamic region in Bangladesh, Gazipur.
Right, Gazipur. It's a place that, well, it seems to wear many hats simultaneously.
Yeah.
From these sources, you see it as ancient historical ground, a powerhouse of modern industry, a significant educational center, home to major cultural and religious events, and even a destination for tourists.
Quite a mix.
It is. Our mission here is to extract the key facts and figures, sure, but more importantly, find the stories and insights, that connect it all together for you.
Okay, let's really dig into this then.
Hmm.
We've got material covering its geography, a history stretching back centuries, its relatively recent administrative structure,
Mm-hmm.
the rapid changes in its population, its economic engine, the educational landscape, cultural elements, health considerations, those environmental challenges,
Definitely those.
and even popular points of interest. Lots to cover.
We'll try to connect the dots across these diverse facets using the information you provided to, well, paint a comprehensive picture of what makes Gazipur unique and why understanding it matters, whether you're exploring opportunities, researching, or just, deeply curious.
So let's start with the lay of the land. Where exactly is Gazipur? Looking at the geography detailed in the sources, it sits about 25 kilometers north of Dhaka,
Just north of the capital, yeah.
and it's firmly within the Dhaka division. Bordered by several other districts,
Mm.
Mainzing and Kishoreganj up north,
Mm-hmm.
Dhaka, Narayanganj, Narsingdi to the south, Narsingdi east, and Dhaka and Tungale west, kind of centrally located in that cluster.
Geographically, the district covers just over, 1,800 square kilometers.
Okay.
And what immediately stands out from the sources is how intertwined it is with water. I mean, really stands out.
How so?
We're talking about a landscape marked by numerous rivers. The sources mention 17, including significant ones like the Old Brahmaputra, Shitalaksha, Turag, Bangshi.
Wow, 17 rivers.
Yeah, alongside countless canals, Ds. Those are large excavated tanks, basically beels, which are marshy lakes or wetlands and other smaller lakes. Water isn't just a feature, it seems, well, foundational to the region.
And who are the people living in this water-rich, strategically located area? The census data in the sources tells a story of, well, explosive growth.
Absolutely explosive.
Just within the Gazipur City Corporation area, the population surged from around 1.6 million in 2011 to over 2.6 million in 2022.
That's 1 million more people in about a decade. In the city alone?
And looking at the entire Gazipur district, the numbers jumped from 3.4 million to 5.2 million in the same period. That's a massive increase.
It absolutely is. And this rapid influx leads to a high population density, averaging around 2,900 people per square kilometer across the district in 2022. Quite crowded.
You think so?
The religious landscape is predominantly Muslim, which reflects the national trend, but the sources also highlight significant Hindu and Christian populations.
Okay.
Interestingly, one source notes that religious minorities tend to be more concentrated in the rural areas. It points specifically to groups like the Bhawal Catholics in Kalagan Upazila, that's a local administrative subdistrict.
Ah, I see.
And we also learn about the presence of indigenous communities like the Rajbangshi, Garo, and Santal people, so quite diverse.
And alongside that population growth, it's good to see literacy rates are on the rise too.
Yeah, that's a positive sign.
For the district, the rate for those aged 7 and over climbed from about 62% in 2011 to over 81% in 2022.
That's a big jump.
It is.
Yeah.
The city corporation showed an even slightly higher rate at over 83% in 2022. So rapid growth, diverse communities, improving education, that kind of sets the stage, doesn't it?
It does, and that growing population lives on land just steeped in history. Your sources reveal layers stretching back centuries.
Like how far back?
Well, Gazipur was home to the ancient Buddhist Pala Empire, with places like Tulsamudra mentioned as a capital back then.
Wow.
Forts like Tok and Ekdala. They aren't just from one period. They date back to the 6th century, but were strategically important enough to be used even during the Mughal era, centuries later.
So long-term significance.
Exactly. We also find mentions of ruins from ancient kings in structures like the Dardaria fort from the 1200s. Real depth there.
So it's not just ancient history then. The sources connect Gazipur to later significant moments too.
Oh, absolutely. There's a fascinating detail about an Islamic scholar transcribing a key text, the Sahih al-Bukhari in Ekdala, during the Sultanate period, like late 1400s.
Really?
Yeah, and gifting it to the Sultan. And the legendary anti-Mughal figure, Isa Khan, he's reportedly buried in a village called Bakhtarpur.
Okay, that's a big name.
It is. And during the Mughal period, the governor Mir Jumla II built a bridge in Tongi that's still noted as an archaeological relic today. You can also, see the layers of time on the landscape.
It really paints a picture.
Exactly. Fast forward again, and the British period left its mark. Indigo factories established in areas like Raniganj.
Right, the indigo trade.
But then we come to the pivotal moment of the 1971 Bangladesh Liberation War. Your sources make it very clear that Gazipur was a major hotspot.
A center of resistance.
A center of resistance and battles, yes. It's noted as the site of the very first armed resistance against the Pakistani military, March 19, 1971.
The very first. Where?
Specifically at Joydapur and Chindanacharasta, according to the sources. They also list several locations within the district that saw significant mass killings and encounters areas in Tongi, Ashurpur, Shripur.
Heavy history there.
Very. And the Jagrana Charangi monument is highlighted as a specific memorial to this critical role Gazipur played in the birth of Bangladesh.
This deep layered history contrasts interestingly with its modern administrative setup. It's surprisingly recent, you said.
Yeah, quite recent, actually. Gazipur didn't become a formal district until 1984.
Only since 84.
And the Gazipur City Corporation is even younger, established just in 2013.
Wow, okay.
It was formed by merging existing municipalities and surrounding rural areas. And this makes it, according to the sources, the youngest and largest city corporation in Bangladesh by area. Almost 330 square kilometers.
Youngest and largest. Interesting combo.
It is. The city itself is divided into 57 wards. So, yeah, a very old place with a very new administrative identity.
And economically, the picture is incredibly clear from the sources. Gazipur is an industrial powerhouse.
Absolutely. That comes through loud and clear.
There's a statistic that really jumps out. 75% of all garment industries in Bangladesh are located here.
75%. Think about that. It's a staggering concentration.
It really tells you a lot about the region's economic engine.
It certainly does. While agriculture still plays a significant role, obviously, that figure just underscores its position as a global textile manufacturing hub.
But it's not just garments, right?
No, the sources also point to diversification. They mention the high-tech city in Kaliakere, described as Bangladesh's only business park.
Ah, okay. Tech focus too.
Which suggests, a strategic move towards attracting different kinds of industries and talent beyond the traditional base.
Speaking of talent, Gazipur seems to be a major hub for education too. Your sources list a remarkable number of higher education institutions located here.
It is quite remarkable, yes. We're looking at a significant cluster. Institutions like Dhaka University of Engineering and Technology, the Islamic University of Technology,
IUT, right?
the National University, the Bangladesh Open University, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman Agricultural University, several others.
That's a lot for one district.
It is. It's a notable concentration. And beyond higher ed, the sources detail a wide network of schools, secondary, primary, community-run, NGO schools, madrasas.
The whole spectrum.
Exactly. And some with long histories, like a boys' high school founded way back in 1905, Rani Bilashmoni Government Boys High School.
Over a century old, wow.
Yeah.
Outside of industry and education, what about culture? The sources describe a vibrant cultural scene.
They do. We hear about rich folk traditions, various festivals like Nabana and Jamai Shasti.
What are those?
Nabana is a harvest festival. Jamai Shasti honors sons-in-law. Traditional celebrations. There are also different forms of folk dance and song mentioned, and drama festivals, particularly during winter.
Sounds lively.
Yes, the local culture appears quite active. And the sources also mention local media, newspapers, and periodicals published right there in the district, keeping people informed locally.
Okay. Now, while we've talked about growth in industry, it's important to look at the challenges highlighted in your sources. Health infrastructure exists.
Yes, including the city's public medical college, Shahid Tajuddin Ahmad Medical College. That's mentioned as the only public one.
But there's a really stark environmental challenge mentioned: air quality.
Ah, yes, that's a big one. One source reports extremely unhealthy air pollution levels in Gazipur.
How bad are we talking?
The annual average PM2.5 in 2020 was recorded at 94.6 micrograms per cubic meter.
94.6. Okay, what's the reference point for that?
Well, to put that in perspective, the World Health Organization guideline is 5 micrograms per cubic meter.
5. So 94.6 is Almost 19 times the WHO guideline.
Nearly 19 times, yes.
Mhm.
It's really high. And this raises a critical question about the health impact of that rapid industrialization we discussed earlier.
You'd have to assume it's significant.
The source actually estimates that these pollution levels could reduce the life expectancy of an average person living in Gazipur by a staggering 8.8 years.
8.8 years, just from the air quality.
That's the estimate based on the 2020 data, that number. It really highlights the potential human cost connected to the region's industrial success. It's sobering.
That almost 9-year reduction is incredibly sobering. Wow. Yet despite these significant environmental issues, Gazipur is also presented as a popular tourist destination. Seems like a contradiction.
It does, doesn't it? But the sources list quite a diverse range of attractions drawing visitors.
Like what?
Well, for those seeking nature, there's Bhawal National Park. It was originally a forest under the historical Bhawal estate.
Okay, a big park.
Yeah. And the Gazipur, or Bangabandhu Safari Park, noted as the only one of its kind in Bangladesh.
A safari park too. Interesting.
And then there are historical sites that survived, like the Bhawal Raj Bari, that's like a royal residence or palace.
Right.
The Kashimpur's Manirdar Bari and Baliadi's Zamindar Bari. These are historical landlord houses, often quite grand.
Zamindar Barras. Okay.
The Tangimir Jumla Bridge we mentioned earlier, that's also listed as a historical relic and a point of interest.
The Mughal Bridge.
Exactly. And the Jagrata Sharanji War Memorial is also noted as a significant site people visit. And for religious visitors, places like the Nagri St. Nicholas Church and St. Anthony Church are mentioned.
So nature, history, memorials, religious sites. What else?
For recreation and cultural interests, New Pali is a big one. Founded by the late, much-loved writer Humayun Ahmed, it's described as a popular spot.
Right, Humayun Ahmed's place.
There are also resorts and parks listed like Turag Waterfront Resort and Ananda Park, Zinda Park, places for leisure. And, of course, we have to mention the Bishwa Ijtima ground, a site of global religious significance, drawing millions for one of the largest Muslim congregations in the world annually.
Right, the Ijtima. Huge event.
So, yes, the tourism really reflects that same diverse, perhaps even paradoxical identity we've been seeing throughout.
And finally, the sources connect Gazipur to some truly notable individuals, people who've made significant contributions.
They do, rooting the district in national prominence. The list includes figures like Tajuddin Ahmad.
The first Prime Minister of Bangladesh.
Exactly. Also the internationally renowned astrophysicist Meghnad Saha.
Oh, wow. Saha equation.
That's him. And Ahsanullah Master, a politician and trade union leader. Fakir Shahabuddin Ahmad, the second Attorney General of Bangladesh, among others.
So quite a list.
It shows the region has produced influential people across different eras and disciplines. Definitely left its mark.
So, pulling back to look at everything we've unpacked from your sources, Gazipur emerges as this fascinating place defined by, well, paradoxes, it seems.
I think that's a good word for it.
It's ancient history and brand new administration. It's a demographic melting pot fueled by incredible, rapid growth.
Driven significantly by that huge concentration of industry, especially garments.
Right. A global manufacturing hub.
Absolutely. It's also a region actively investing in education. You see that in the number of universities and rising literacy. And it's preserving cultural traditions, offering a surprising range of attractions, nature, history, major religious events.
Yeah, the whole gamut.
Yeah, it faces these critical modern challenges, particularly the severe environmental impact of its industrial success, reflected starkly in that alarming air pollution data and the potential impact on life expectancy.
It's a complex picture.
It really is.
You now have a much clearer, richer understanding of this complex and dynamic area drawn directly from the information you shared with us.
And this deep dive truly highlights how bringing together disparate pieces of information from historical texts to modern census data and environmental reports paints a far more nuanced picture than any single source could ever provide on its own.
Definitely. And here's a final thought for you to consider based on everything we've explored. Giving Gazipur's dual identity, this rapidly growing industrial powerhouse on one hand, and a place grappling with severe environmental issues, particularly that air pollution, on the other. How will it balance its continued economic ambition with the urgent need to protect the health and well-being of its ever-expanding population? What kind of future does this dynamic tension really create for green, glorious, growing Gazipur? Something to think about.